there's Kickstarters.
And
There's
then
always Kickstarters.
there's Pickstarter.
That's right. And we are here to tell you the difference. These are the Pickstarters. They're the real stuff. Only the tough survive. And boy, are we going to start tough. You might have heard of this one. It's called Bears versus Babies.
Now, you may recall an extremely popular Kickstarter earlier, Exploding Kittens. Well, these comes from the same guy, the Oatmeal, and the same game designer. And in this game, you are bears, or other monsters.
You are bears.
And you are trying to kill babies, because babies are terrifying.
Naturally.
Now, the babies have a certain toughness, I guess is the right word I'd use. And in order to beat them, you have to build your monsters with a toughness equal to or greater. And you do that by having, like, a bear with chainsaw arms and a business suit. Or bald eagle with, like, a shark body. And, of course, other fun add-ons either increase your strength or to screw up your opponents.
Which raises the question, when does a bear not become a bear anymore? It's like when you take a brick house apart brick by brick and replace it with new bricks. Is it the same house?
It's a bear in
Just
spirit.
getting off topic. It's a bear in spirit.
But
anyway,
this is pretty much follows the same fun thing of building all these crazy monsters and trying to fight off. I think they actually called it a horde of babies. And of course, just like in the Exploding Kittens Kickstarter, the base in the game itself is, I think, 12 and up. You know, it's age-friendly, mostly. Mm-hmm. But there is a not safe for work pack edition you can get. So definitely, I mean, this sounded hilarious, and I know it's one of those things very polarizing. You either love or hate Exploding Kittens. But like, I know my brother who loved it. I'm like, I backed it because I'm like, this is gonna be his gift. Like, I already got whatever his next. Either Christmas or birthday, this would be the perfect thing for him.
Hope he doesn't watch this show.
I don't care. He'll be fine. He'll be like, okay, that's what I'm getting. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I'm the other side of the fence where I could not possibly care less about.
Which is why it's really funny when you're like, we picked the toughest kicks. I'm like, I really hope
there was a little bit of sarcasm in there from my side. I mean, if it's your cup of tea, that's, you know, and it's a lot of people's, then drink that tea. But it's not quite my sense of humor.
Well, I understand where you're coming from. I do think one of the things that's nice about these guys is they do put in the effort. I mean, the Exploding Kitten box, it had a sound effect that came with it. The expansion just came out. It actually comes with a cone. It actually came with, if you had not that box, because mine does fit it all, but like one of the older regular boxes, if it can't fit all the cards the way it is, so they give you a little divider so you can take the plastic thing out.
I mean, they're making $8 million.
Yeah.
They better give you a nice box.
No, but I mean, like, the fact that they actually are putting the work in.
They put the work into.
But there's the night box for the Kickstarter, but the regular box that you can buy commercially couldn't fit them all in. So I'm just saying, like, they are putting in that little.
They're putting this work into the components, I would argue, at the expense of the gameplay. but again, so I mean, it's super simple, right? It's what it does its job. It is what it is. It's just it's like the Big Bang Theory of card games to me. It's like the most popular show in the world, and I'm just like, I don't know. But a lot of people do know. So that's Bears versus Babies, BVB as I call it. Next up, another big game from the opposite side of the fence, from designer Matt Leacox. That's why this is a big deal. The guy behind Pandemic, Forbidden Island, Pandemic Legacy, and of course, Pandemic, The Cure. I don't know. Anyway, it's called Chariot Race, if I didn't say that already. If you like Ben-Hur, this is that kind of a thing. Basically, it's a racing game. You're in an oval track, just like an old chariot race, and it's, you know, more or less similar to Formula D, which we've played, where each chariot has different speed levels, and depending, you know, you can change your speed as you're going. Depending on what your speed is, you roll different amounts of dice, and you're trying to win the race, obviously, and you want, you know, there's the thing with the corners where you have to hit a certain mark to go to a certain direction, or you'll take hit points. You do have hit points, because that's the other thing. You can also attack fellow players. You can ram into them, you can throw javelins at them, or you can drop caltrops behind you, which they can trip on, which can be hazards in the way of the game. And there's also, as you roll your dice for movements, they have certain different symbols that will maybe allow you to re-roll some dice, or may force you to change your speed or lose hit points. So there's some level of uncertainty involved in that way as well. And there's also a whole other, there's more advanced play where there's a different side of the board with obstacles on it, player abilities, that kind of thing.
Well, what we need to do with this is reskin it.
Yeah.
So instead of caltrops being dropped, it's bananas. Instead of javelins, it's shells.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it looks, I thought, at first I was like, well, I know it's a great designer, but the art, looks like that kind of a dry Euro-ish game. But the description of it actually sounds really fun to me. We forgot to mention the price of Bears versus Babies.
We did.
It's because nobody cares. It's $25, and Chariot Race is $24, so $1 cheaper for some reason. But it's a smallish box. It's not like a huge, like I said, it's just a small board. You're just going around a little lap, but it looked like a neat take on a racing style game.
I mean, like you said, it has a legacy behind it. So
right.
And for reasonable, both games very reasonably priced. So. For whether you have someone who likes something a bit more tactical or whether someone who just wants to laugh and see weird drawings of babies, we got both ends of the spectrum.
Now, what if you're someone who loves science and theories and formulas and mathematicians? And
Stop being so smart. Are we going back to Big Bang Theory?
We're going to, by the way, when I said that, I actually meant the theory, not the TV show.
I know, right?
Yeah, Bears versus Babies is the cause of life in the board game.
And you're just like, why does that happen? I don't believe it. Nothing good could come from it.
I'm a creationist. Now, I'm of course alluding to the game Einstein. Mm-hmm. Tell me about this game.
All right, so in this game, you actually, each player is a phase in Einstein's life, like young Einstein, traveling Einstein, old Einstein. I think I'm forgetting the one in between, but there's four. It's up to 4 players, and you each get idea cards, and they're like puzzle pieces, and you all get these puzzle pieces. And the idea is you're all building this puzzle, trying to solve your cards to get points, and like with certain weird piece shapes. And what's cool about that, what I really liked is, first of all the cards, it tells you like theory at the bottom. All of them give little notes and facts about Einstein, which I really like when they do that in a game, because not even just board games, every kind of game, when there's that little tidbits that they sprinkle in that you don't have to go out of the game to learn about something, because it really sort of immerses you more. And for a learning game, I think that's one of the best ways. So you're still playing a game, but it's like, by the way, did you know this happened? Mm. But what's also cool is, like, let's say I had needed these 3 specific pieces together. And when we're all building the center puzzle, it's like the main idea. We're all building it together.
So it's fully cooperative.
Yeah, no, it's competitive.
No.
But like we put our pieces in the center, just like they're all weird shapes.
Okay.
And let's say I made my weird shape in there, and it used one of your pieces. Mm-hmm. Well, I get points for solving the card. You get some points.
Oh, okay.
So there's this idea of not just solving. It's just like, well, I could solve and get my points there, but I'm giving you points.
You're building off the ideas.
You're all building off each other, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then the game ends. I believe it was when either everyone uses their pieces or someone solves all their ideas, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. But to me, I thought it's a simple, but it sounded really fun, and the puzzle aspect was sort of this. It almost seemed relaxing, just building this cool interacting puzzle and all these physics and chemistry, while at the same time you still get points even if you're not the one who solves something. So you can make this crazy awesome colored map.
To be clear, I don't know if you'll know the answer to this, but each person is a different phase of Einstein's life.
Yeah.
So is it like, did they explain that thematically? Is there like a time warp problem?
I didn't know. They did not. I think it's just
okay.
You're all Einstein.
Okay.
It's Red Alert 2. We'll just go with that.
Got it.
But to me, I thought it was cool educational wise. I thought it was a fun little mixture that doesn't mean someone can run amok, and while it's competitive, you're all working together still, which actually makes sense in science. Like, you want your own grant, but you all build off of each other. So
and that goes for $24 as well.
Wow, this seems to be the price range.
I know. And finally, we're talking about Home by Dark, which is a storytelling game that is inspired, as they state right on their page, by such films as E.T., The Iron Giant, and the recent Stranger Things, which of course is a big ol' hit if you haven't seen it, which also features Dungeons and Dragons in it, so check that out if you haven't seen it.
That Gorgon.
So basically you're playing a group of kids in one of these movies. And I guess I would call it, it's RPG influenced, but it's more in the vein of games like Fiasco, one-shot storytelling experiences. Mm-hmm. Actually, it sounded it also has to do with dry erase boards, which reminded me of Conspire, which we talked about last week. So there's a through line there. And you actually were the one who found this, and you were like, hey, you should look at this.
Yeah, I mean, because we always mention how we like the story kind of games, and I know this, they even said it was really funny, because I'm curious if you have a word for it. They're like, it's not really 80s movies because it spans over multiple things. I guess it's like smart kids, or like
yeah, I call them Amblin movies, Spielberg. Basically, it's like that aesthetic.
And it captures, I think, it definitely captures a lot of, like, I mean, while Stranger Things on its own, it's just awesome. But I mean, it does capture that sort of nostalgia of these movies that we have, and the idea of us actually getting to play through them. And actually slowly, like the way it actually works is because you play them, you write on these boards, and slowly ends up in the final conflict against, in essence, usually probably, I'm guessing, adults and stuff, like whatever, some secret organization to help out whatever you found and stuff. And I think it captures, like, it helps us go back and even get some of that innocence. I think that's one of the big things that these characters have, the innocence that they have, compared to like looking at all these dark organizations are willing to give up everything, or just adult. Which almost is like a breather in this current year. So to me, it sounded like such a cool, fun concept. Leaving it open, because that's almost what you'd want in this kind of thing. Just not to be like rigid, like I roll 6 dice that allows me my character to move. Like just to keep
a much more free form kind of thing than that. You can get for $30. You can get the soft cover, I believe, for if you spend less the PDF, as is the case with most of these. So
we got a nice $20, $30
yeah,
range.
this is the low mid-range.
Nothing $80.
No $200 miniatures extravaganzas on this week's episode. Yet.